Each year about this time, our 9th and sometimes 10th graders begin their journey of discovery about themselves, how they fit into their families, how they relate to Unitarian Universalism, and how they want to be in this world. It is a rare thing these days to be given this time to go so deep into reflection. Through Sunday morning classes, trapeze school, and the Boston trip, they delve into what makes them who they are. The result is the statement of belief which they are about to share with you. These statements are a snapshot in time. They may change and they may not, but for these moments, this is their current expression. By giving these statements, most are letting go of their comfort zones to become vulnerable and truly speak from their hearts. I know you want to encourage them, but please hold your applause till all of them have shared. They'll give you a bit of silence in between each one to let it sink in. We have a slight program change. Neil Chopra is unfortunately ill today, so we'll hear from our first 2 coming-of-age youth, have a little music, time for reflection, and then we'll hear from the last 3. Thank you.
My name is Leah Can. Belief. Belief is a fickle thing. There is so much that it can bring. It ebbs and flows in the breeze, snaking through the trees with ease. I believe you are ever learning, your mind forever churning, with all the nuts and bolts and gears forever growing throughout the years. It changes every night and day, from blue to black to red to gray, from expression and connection to fear and rejection. To believe is to learn and love with help from all of those above. It is to be close with others and treat all like sisters and brothers. I believe to live is to be there for others in need. It is to dedicate your life to get rid of all the strife. It is to sometimes be wrecked and try not to infect the people around you who may also be blue. I believe that we are all equal because after all, we are all people. I believe that we can do whatever and get there however. It is like to be a flower that will wilt with no power, but root and rise as high as the skies. To believe is to be vulnerable, but not have it be insufferable. It is to love to no end so that you can suspend in a world where there is love and an olive leaf with a dove, where what you believe comes and goes like a river ebbs and flows.
My name is Liam McNeely. Life is difficult, and once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult. This is a quote from M. Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled. And I think that that quote has applied to my life ever since I was 5 years old when I decided to become a vegetarian. Throughout the years, I've been insulted, laughed at, and alienated by people I'd thought to be my closest friends. And yet, for whatever reason, I persisted. I didn't switch back, and I didn't try to surround myself with other people who thought the same way. I never plan on switching back, and I'll probably stay a vegetarian for the rest of my life. A time when I believe I showed these values is during the last Cardboard City. I'd brought a pillow, covers, sleeping bag, and a foam mattress. And right before I put all of it in my little box house, I realized that I couldn't get anything out of it that way. So I put it all away and tried to sleep without it. And it was the longest night of my life. When it was finally morning, I was very proud of myself for lasting the whole 60-degree night without once going over to my bag just a few feet away. And sticking to my goal made me feel so much better afterwards. The biggest challenge I've faced so far has been joining my new club swim team. I've been going to the hardest practice of my life for 5 days a week and 3 hours a day, but I'm determined to improve. My current goal is to break the record for butterfly at my local pool, a record that's been made from almost 40 years of swimmers. For the next 3 years, through discipline, perseverance, and hard work, I intend to break this record. And I'd like to end my speech with a quote from Barack Obama. Making your mark on the world is hard. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But it's not. It takes patience, it takes commitment, and it comes with plenty of failure along the way. The real test is not whether you avoid this failure, because you won't. It's whether you let it harden or shame you into inaction, or whether you learn from it, whether you choose to persevere. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Katie Hansen. The word religion has a lot of weight. Yes, I'm stating the obvious, but religion should not control us. It should not separate us or solely define us, but rather lead us. I can't stand here today and commit myself to several ideas of one religion in a single moment. But I can tell you how I have let one of my beliefs lead me in several ways. The idea of karma has been one of my prominent beliefs for quite some time. Of course, karma wasn't originally something with deep religious significance for me. When you spilled your yogurt at lunch, someone would yell, "Karma," and everyone would chuckle. Yet slowly but surely, small instances of karma would appear in my life that made me actually believe in it. I can't pin my thoughts down to a single moment where I fully devoted myself to karma. Maybe it was the time I was in my friend's car on our way home from soccer. My friend's dad started to speed, and I begged him to slow down, to which he only sped up. Within seconds, we hit a pothole and got a flat tire. Of course, the logical person would see this as cause and effect, but I choose to view this as an example of the universe reflecting what you do. I try to live my life with kindness and compassion to others to avoid bad karma. No, I'm not a perfect person, but I try to use karma as a device to become a better person. Many people may see this as me living in constant fear of karma, but I view it as awareness. Karma is also not always in the moment. I could do several small things that add up, and then something good or bad could happen later on. As I said, I see karma as reflecting what you put in the universe, so the positivity of karma can be endless too. This summer, I went on a camping trip in Northern California for 3 weeks. Throughout the trip, I tried my best to carry the group gear, talk to the person who was feeling down, help some pack their backpacks, and overall, just be kind. On the last day of the trip, everyone was flying out, except for me and one other kid. I was staying in California with my dad, and my friend was taking the train home. My dad was picking me up at the airport at 10, and it was only 6. I could have waited in the airport with all the other kids, but my friend was going to the train station with just the instructors. I realized all the kids in the airport had each other, so I accompanied my friend to the train station. After saying goodbye, I was walking through the parking lot, only to find a $100 bill. Immediately, I gave it to the instructors, but they wouldn't accept it, claiming, "Finders keepers." Again, the logical person would see this as a wild coincidence, but I choose to view this as the universe's token of telling me something I'm doing is right. The positivity of karma does not solely root from the good aspects, but also the bad. Bad karma forces me to seek change for the better in my life and find what I'm doing wrong. Of course, terrible things do happen, which nobody did to deserve, but it's how you react in that moment that determines your karma down the road. Karma has made me try to seek improvement in myself while uplifting others in my path. It keeps me positive and pushes me to do the right thing in tough situations. Not everyone has to believe in karma, but I hope everyone can find something spiritual that makes them a better person, whatever it may be. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hyper Rash. I'm currently suffering a bit of a cold, so just bear with me on this. I don't know what I believe in. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if I believe in aliens, and I don't know if I believe in our current government. But I can summarize the beliefs that are most important to me in my life. Love and respect for other people, including my family, my friends, and anyone else I come in contact with in my daily life. I try to demonstrate this belief by trying to think about how what I say or do makes other people feel. It's so easy to make someone feel bad without meaning to if you're not careful with your words. I want to help other people who are different have a better understanding of each other, working to make the world I live in a better place. I want to do this by advancing scientific and technological resources. I hope that someday I will eventually have a career that helps the world around me and the environment. Science is my passion, my favorite subject in school, and currently my job. Now, for people who don't think rocks and geology are interesting, this is going to sound kind of lame, but to me this is thrilling. I work at the Carnegie Institution of Washington for terrestrial magnetism, and my job is examining crystals from volcanoes in Hawaii, and specifically a type of crystal called olivine, and I look for CO2 levels within that. The research that I'm doing and the research that is done today in all aspects of science affects our whole lives and the lives of people who come after us. Just being able to participate this, even in a small form, is something I definitely value and believe in. Honesty is my third key belief I have in my life. Everyone struggles with honesty. I know I do. But being honest in a situation, any situation, can almost always benefit you, even if it's in the long run. There are times in my life where I have been dishonest, and looking back on these events, I realize if I had just told the truth, I could have avoided so much. Now, I don't want to end this on a negative and mopey note, but I don't always know what I'll believe in, and I don't know if I ever will. I don't think that's a bad thing. People are always changing, and I'm always changing, and my experiences in life will shape those beliefs and form them so they fit me. I'm in no rush to find out what they are, but I know I will find them if I remain open to change, if I have love and respect for others, if I continue to improve the world, and if I remain honest. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Hacker, and before I begin, I'd like to just thank my mentor, Mark, for being so wonderful through this whole process. So this summer, I spent some time on college campuses doing some summer programs. I spent 2 weeks each at the University of Michigan and at Harvard, and without a doubt, the best part of my experience was meeting the other kids there. The 2-week program is an odd amount of time, because by the end of the 2 weeks, you've completely found your place with other kids, you've gotten to know them very well, and because of the amount of daily time you spend with them, in just 2 weeks, you start to consider them some of your closest friends. But then, right as you reach this stage, the program ends and everyone goes home, heartbroken that they've been separated from their newfound best friends. Experiences like these stick with me because they demonstrate something amazing and remarkable about humanity in general. Anyone from any walk of life can be a great or a best friend because each person offers us something new, unique, fun, or insightful when we get to know them. And each person has their own base of rich and interesting stories to share with other people. One of my favorite parts of life is going to an event where I barely know anyone and meeting new people. Even if I never see anyone there again, the simple joy of learning the stories and experiences of strangers adds value to and broadens the horizons of my life. I think it's truly remarkable how many of these experiences are out there. When 1,000 cars sit on a congested freeway, each car contains a person with their own set of stories, perspectives, and values. You could get into any car and start a conversation with the driver, and each conversation would add something unique to your life that no other car has to offer. Given the sheer volume of extraordinary experiences and opportunities in the world, I do my best to expose myself to as many as possible to get as much as I can out of life. And I do expose myself to a lot of things. In fact, I'm barely ever able to participate in youth group activities because I have so often given myself another commitment. But despite my constantly packed schedule, I'm never stressed out about having to keep moving from one activity to the next. Instead, I see each thing I'm doing as another opportunity to add something new and wonderful to my life. And this allows me to go through everything I do with a sense of joy and hopefulness. When it comes to pinning down my exact set of core beliefs, it can be difficult because they're often very fluid. While I certainly agree with and support basic Unitarian values like justice, equality, and a search for truth, the values that specifically mean a lot to me or govern how I live frequently change depending on the people I've met and the recent experiences I've had. I could be totally fixed on and confident in one way of thinking, but as soon as I step into someone else's car, the experiences and insights they share with me could change everything. I think the one consistent value that remains of utmost importance to me is this simple openness to new experience and information, and an active desire to get to know new people and have new discussions so I can get as much out of life as possible. After all, we're only here for so long, and I intend to take advantage of every new opportunity I can get.